Namaskar, welcome to Bindu Asia Voice of the Community on ITV Gold. This Sunday, as we meet and we look back at some of the important stories from last week, in this edition, we will have a report of Vallabh Jayanti celebration from Vaishnav Temple of New York. In our weekly segment, Padmashri Dr. Sudhir Parikh takes a look at the situation of COVID-19 second wave in India. We will have Democratic candidate for City Council District 23, political activist Harpreet Singh Toor in conversation with Aditi Lamba. We'll also have a report on Interfaith prayer in support of situation in India, Heal India. There will be a report on police unity tour at Royal Albert Palace, New Jersey, and we will also talk to Dr. Bindu Balani about Hackensack Meridian Health working towards sending supplies to India. So all this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia Voice of the Community on ITV Gold, and we begin with a devotional story, and devotion with love as well as creative expression of devotees in the form of music as well as various alankarans, and Lord Srinathji's worship in the Pushti Margi tradition is also observed in traditional way at Haveli, which is Vaishnav Temple of New York at Long Island. Vallabh Jayanti, that is the birth anniversary of Vallabhacharya ji, founder of Pushti Marg, was observed recently at Vaishnav Temple. We have a report with greetings on Vallabh Jayanti from Padmashri Dr. Sudhir Parikh also.
की जय, श्री वल्लभाधीश की जय। सभी व्यूअर्स को आज महाप्रभु जी के 544वीं जयंती की बहुत बहुत बधाई। महाप्रभु जी का इस कोविड के टाइम में भी बहुत बड़ा संदेशा रहा है पहले से ही कि अपने हाथ वॉश करो, किसी को हैंड शेक मत करो। तो ठाकुर जी के पास भी जाओ, हाथ साफ करके जाओ, किसी को मिलो तो भी दूर से नमस्ते करो। तो ये सब सारे संदेश पहले से ही दिए गए हैं। इसकी पुष्टि मार्ग में जो पहले से स्वच्छ रहने की बात है, मतलब देह से भी और मन से भी, कि किसी ठाकुर जी की सेवा में पूरा मन रहना चाहिए। ऐसे बोलते हैं कि गाय के सिंग के ऊपर जो राई का दाना है वो रहे, इतने क्षण भी अगर अपना मन ठाकुर जी से कहीं और जाता है तो ये कलयुग में अपना पतन नक्की है। तो मानो अपने जो भी काम करो ठाकुर जी की सेवा में करो। बस इसी संदेश के साथ महाप्रभु जी की सबको बधाई। जय श्री कृष्ण।
To happy Vallabhacharya Jayanti, Jai Vallabhacharya, Jai Pushtimag devotee, Jai Shri Krishna, and Jai Snaj.
लीला होती जूनी नात रे, जो पे श्री वल्लभ प्रकट न होते, जो पे श्री वल्लभ प्रकट न होते, वसुधा रहती जूनी नात रे, लीला होती जूनी नात रे, लीला होती जूनी नात रे, दिन दिन नई नई छवि उपजत, जो कंचन नगे चूनी, सगुण दास यह घर को सेवक, सगुण दास यह घर को सेवक, जस गावत जाको मुनि नाथ रे, लीला होती जूनी नाथ रे, लीला होती, लीला होती, लीला होती जूनी नाथ रे। श्री वल्लभाधीश की जय।
It was done about 700 years ago. Vallabhacharya migrated from the south to the north, and they started this Pushtimag, where they believe that Krishna Bhagwan, it's always to be worshipped and to be celebrated as a childhood form. So in the Pushtimag, always this Krishna Bhagwan is given all sorts of attention, all sorts of luxury, all sorts of bhajan, all sorts of sringar. As a parents, we give it to our child. And Pushtimag is a very great devoted religion. They believe in very strict bhakti or puja to the Krishna Bhagwan, and they believe that Krishna Bhagwan is the one who really helped this world and make the people more spiritual, more pure, and they are responsible for that. And we have in USA a Vraj temple, which is a Pushtimarg temple. And I myself personally had a privilege to be a grand benefactor of the Vraj temple, which is placed at the Pennsylvania and Pocono Mountains, and thousands of devotees comes to worship Krishna Bhagwan, and with the Pushtimag celebration every year and all the time. So now we started another Vraj temple, Vrajadham, in the North Jersey too, and this is a first time the Vraj temple where the Srinathji, Nathadwara, Srinathji deity came out of the India to USA or anywhere in the world. So this is the significance of the Vraj temple, and we all worship the Krishna in a very Krishna God in the childhood form.
You're watching Vision of Asia, and now we take you to this week's special edition of This Week with Padmashri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Namaskar, welcome to This Week with Padmashri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Dr. Welcome. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
So as we begin, again, things have not improved to the extent that we would like them to improve, referring to COVID-19 situation in India. But with increased support reaching India, as well as India preparing on its own, how do you assess the situation now? The situation in India?
Well, I mean, the situation has not been improved. Situation in the COVID situation in India has not much improved yet. Still, there is over 3 lakhs new cases every day. There is a lot of deaths every day. So, but it's getting little stable, or it's stabilizing a little bit. And all the help from the international help from all over the world is pouring in. And we, Indian American from here, particularly me personally, involved in sending almost 250 oxygen concentrate through our Life Global, our BJ Medical College Alumni Association, and API, and so forth. And so we are really working hard to send oxygen concentrate, some fund for vaccination, as well as the respirator. And hopefully we will see the plateau in a day or two, and then start declining the cases. And that's our hope is. But only way to control this pandemic is to give the vaccination to as many patients or as many people as one can. That's only way to end this pandemic. And unfortunately, right now, the rate of the vaccination is very slow, very poor, and as compared to the population who needs this vaccination.
Absolutely. So what you said is the general notion, and I also believe medically that vaccine would break the cycle. But today, the news from Seychelles, the nation that has most vaccinated people, is putting a question mark on this conviction, because in spite of being the most vaccinated nation, Seychelles is showing again new cases, increased cases for COVID-19. So how can we account for that? What could be the reason?
Well, it could be the again variant and more mutation of the virus, but that doesn't mean that we have to give up the hope on the vaccine. Vaccine is the only way to control this virus. There is no other way. So we have, government of India and state government has to do the maximum number of vaccination. But right now, the way the vaccine manufacturers are talking, looks like it will take another 2-3 months to get the number of dosage which we need, and that will be too late. Before that, I'm afraid that there will be a third wave, which may affect much younger children. So I think whole thing doesn't look very promising.
Absolutely true. And Doctor, if we compare in terms of the population of America and India, India is almost 4 times more, a little more than America. And in spite of having so many resources, we had to go through the cycle of losing a lot of loved ones in America. And if we look at per 1 crore the number of deaths, then we in India are still slightly behind America, but we may catch up. Now, coming to the other side about preparedness of any nation to face this kind of challenge, Supreme Court has observed rightly that in the past 70 years, our medical system is not prepared to face this kind of calamity and this kind of challenge. So, allow me to break it in two parts. One, we need a short term, immediate, strategic framework to overcome this, to long term strategy to be prepared for such situations. So, let us focus on the short term, Doctor. Do you think everything that can be done in the short term is in its way?
Well, I mean, hopefully, because still there is a number of beds are not enough. Still, the oxygen supply is not enough. Oxygen production is there, but the distribution is not completely well organized, and still people are dying. I mean, yesterday only there was one hospital in Haryana. 8 people died because they ran out of the oxygen. So this kind of thing should not happen. Absolutely should not happen. And the number of deaths, again, we don't know the real number, because there are a lot of people are not even getting admitted in the hospital, and they're dying at home. And those counts are not counted in this number of deaths. And so they say, the expert says in India that whatever count is there, most likely it's another 8 to 10 times more than what we are looking at. So it's very dire situation. Government has to increase immediately number of the beds, open up the temporary hospitals in the stadiums, in the large facility outdoor facilities, where one can have more beds with the oxygen. Because oxygen is the most important critical treatment for this kind of most of the COVID patients. And there is a shortage of doctors and nurses there too. And therefore, I think government has done right thing that they ask medical students to be a doctor there, even though they are not completely finished their training. But I'm sure, being a medical student, they know how to treat the patients, or how to watch the patient, how to keep the observation on the patient. So that's only way to increase the number of doctors or medical healthcare professional to take care of this kind of surge of the COVID infection.
Absolutely. And Doctor, there are many news which makes us feel a sense of helplessness or frustration. And just very briefly recollecting two, one from Tirupati, 11 people died because of disruption in the oxygen supply. Similar thing happened in Rajasthan, Jaipur somewhere. 20 people died because, again, due to electric supplies flow was checked, they didn't get proper oxygen, and that resulted into the death of these innocent 20 people. Now, these things can be taken care of if there is proactive and passionate response to this calamity. Now, I'll just add one line, Doctor. In order for people to be prepared, do you think there is some parallel training that can be conducted, should be conducted, that this is not the normal medical emergency, and they need to protect themselves also with PPE and all those. And we are seeing that that is not being observed properly at several places in India.
Yes, I mean, people, the population at large should be get educated. What is important, what is not important. Mask is important. Crowding is not. Crowding should not be done. How to take care of themselves when there is a family member gets infected. How to isolate them. All this thing has to be taught to the population, and make sure that population doesn't take things granted. Even after vaccination, even infection can happen, and therefore I think they have to know all this thing. And government must make sure that every hospital has at least 2 days of oxygen supply, so more than what they needed, and that way there is enough time to shunt the oxygen supply to the particular hospital.
Absolutely. And there is another situation that some of the doctors are facing. And one news came from Bangalore because of the limited supply of oxygen and beds that they have. At times, doctors find themselves in a dilemma, ethical dilemma, whether they should admit seniors first or young patients first. So, your thought if such a situation is faced by a physician, it is very difficult to decide. Can you share your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah. This such situation should not happen, and because no human being has right to decide who can live and who can die. And that's absolutely deplorable. And that also just for because lack of supply of oxygen, that's unacceptable, and therefore it should not happen. Therefore the oxygen supply has to be there. Adequate supply should be there, and government should provide or make an arrangement to provide them oxygen supply a couple of days more than what they need every day. And that's only way you can have make sure that no one dies or no one get admitted because there is a lack of oxygen or lack of bed. And they have to make some create a temporary hospital to take care of those patients who needs a bed and oxygens.
Absolutely. And as you are aware, including you, many NRIs are working uh, to extend support in several ways, and many India-friendly congressmen are also concerned, and they are writing to President Biden to pump up the supplies to help India at this hour. Your thoughts on the overall mood?
Well, I think I'm very happy to learn that Biden administration has already sent so much of help, medications, some vaccine even, and the PPE to the India, and oxygen concentrates and so forth, within 1 week time. And I think that's very commendable. We should thank USA for that, and we also should thank all the other countries, those who are helping India right now.
And now, as we move towards the concluding part of our conversation, at the time of any emergency or war-like situation, the nation should come forward to face it with unity. And that unity, I think, is missing, and which is also causing some additional hardship for common man. I especially speak about the kind of coordination and relationship as well as blaming happening between central government and some of the state governments.
Well, I mean, that is not very good situation, that central government blames state government and state government blames central government, and that kind of bickering should stop. And they make sure that central government provides also every state equal whatever their need is, an equal distribution of the oxygen, medical supply, and healthcare providers.
And that is, of course, based on the need which is shared by respective states with the center. And though generally speaking, medical, as per India's constitution, comes under state, but then again, it is one nation, and there are shared concerns. And as we conclude, Dr. Saab, what would be your advice for our young viewers, in what way they can feel and come forward to work with other organizations which are uh, trying to see what they can do to help India?
Our young population, I mean, Indian Americans should galvanize their own group, their own organization, all other sister organization, including the non-Indian organization, American organization, Jewish organization, and so forth, and to muster as much as help they can get to help the India, and to in this kind of calamity. This is a crisis of century. Everybody should do something to help our motherland. Motherland is calling, motherland is in need, and motherland is kind of asking for our help, and we all should help motherland. And again, in conclusion, I would say, dear friends, please do get vaccination as soon as you can get opportunity to get one. Do not hesitate. Vaccination is safe, very effective, and that's only way will save your life and your loved one's life. So please do so. And thank you. Thank you for joining this week with us. And we'll see you next week. God bless India. God bless America. And God bless Indian American community. Thank you. Goodbye.
Harpreet Singh Toor is a well-known name for the community as a community leader. He has served closely with various organizations. He talked to Aditi Lamba about his candidature and what is it that he's offering to voters as a Democratic candidate for City Council District 23.
What's going to be on your agenda for your first 100 days if you were elected?
My first 100 days on my agenda, like I mentioned before, having the meetings with the PBA, having the meetings with the school chancellor and the teachers in my district so that I can assess their requirements, meeting the civic associations, trying to communicate with the elderly people what they are missing. It is, even though it is a transportation needs, but how we can fix it and what kind of solutions we can have. Those should be immediate issues to be looked at. And from there, once you build up the ground, then you can move on.
Right. I have two more questions that are left for you. And I have to ask you because you're a community leader and you're also Indian American. There's a lot that's happening in India right now. This devastating news that keeps on coming every single day. Thousands are dying. Who do you think is responsible for all of this? Should India have opened up so fast?
Well, for me, yes, we can always go into making the people responsible, this and that. The first thing should be how to save the lives. Okay, we are in the middle of this crisis right now, and if we go on doing the blame game, nothing will get achieved right now. Right now, we need to save the lives, and for that, we have, been sending the funding to the people who are working on the ground, like some of the non-profit organizations or NGOs in India, and there was some oxygen issue also. There are people who are sending out the machines. We are coordinating with them. Already the first shipment, I think it is already gone. It was supposed to go yesterday or today. And so for me, first is contain the situation.
Right.
We can always look back later on and see, okay, who was at fault? And whosoever did anything intentionally, that person should be penalized, whether it's a politician or a bureaucrat. But right now, let us save the lives, and then we can talk about blaming somebody.
Do you think India should go into national lockdown again?
Last lockdown was a horrible experience for the people, where they walked thousands and thousands of kilometers, hundreds of kilometers, some of them even close to 1,000 kilometers to reach to their houses. The government, what they should do, like over here, they set up a date. Okay, we are going to go down into lockdown in 2 weeks' time. Let the families get together. After that, you implement the lockdown. You just cannot get up in the middle of the night and say that, okay, at 12 a.m. in the morning or 12.01 a.m. in the morning or whatever it is, army time 0001 a.m., we are going to lock down. No, you should not be doing that.
For sure. Well, it was really nice having you here with us on ITV Gold. I just have one last question for you. What do you have
Sure.
to say to the South Asian community that's residing in your district? I'm sure they'll be very important when it comes to voting.
Oh, yeah. What I'm going to say to them is they need to look at the list of candidates who are going to represent them. They should look at my achievements. They can Google my name and find out. They can go to toorforcitycouncil.com and look at what I'm planning to do. They can walk into my office on Hillside Avenue and 251 Street and talk to me. I'm going to be there every Thursday from 5 to 7 just to listen to and talk to the people who live in the neighborhood. They can come to my office. And also look at the results which I got so far, even without being elected. So just imagine if I get elected, what I can achieve. And like I said before, let's be at the table instead of being on the menu. And this is the time. And our community, our people, they can do it. And I'm not only, some people, they say, I'm ready to lead. No. I'm ready to serve. I have been serving the community, and I will serve even better once I get elected.
You're watching Vision of Asia, Voice of Community on ITV Gold, and this program is aired every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. We have this special weekly edition of Vision of Asia every Sunday at 11 a.m. We appreciate your continued support and love. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these short messages. Another candidate from District 23 City Council, Koshi Thomas, was instrumental in organizing one interfaith prayer to support India. And among representatives from various faiths were Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Jains. And here is a report from that event. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and as things are, especially coming from India, COVID situation, prayers also help, and someone who has been active with community on several fronts, Koshi Thomas, while he is in the race, but he felt that it is important to have prayer, interfaith prayer, and send positive message for the well-being of one and all. So, Koshiji, I appreciate this thought, and talk to me how this idea came to you.
Humanly, there is only very little possible. Godly, there are so many miracles could happen. So we were thinking about, we did humanly possible, we did a lot of things. But now, we have to, the only solution or solution we feel now is pray to God, and with His blessings, I think, and we all think, miracles should happen.
We always pray for each and everyone to live the way God likes. Especially in the time of pandemic, COVID-19, we suffer. We suffer in every level, every nation. So we ask our God to help us and support us and guide us and remove the calamity from us.
Spiritual power is divine, and definitely it helps. And the faith in the spiritual power makes a lot of difference. It enhances your confidence, it reduces the negativity, and it definitely helps.
So, and every time when we have any kind of event, we pray for everybody who are suffering or who are die, and so we are praying for them. And I hope Kuwait is going to be run away from this world, and we are again go back to our main position, and then we start big event, and we can just meet everybody person to person.
Looking at the interfaith prayer and coming with a science background, how do you think about the efficacy of collective positive thought generated to assuage those who are suffering, and especially as we focus on the situation in India, your thoughts on the connectivity of this positive thought current.
Thanks for very, very good questions. You know, if science doesn't work, then Almighty will help. So we should bring all the forces together. And thanks to Mr. Koshi for organizing this interfaith prayer. So we are not taking any chance. So we are including all the religion, and all the religion tells you the same thing: to live in peace and ask the Almighty to bring us out, bring us all out of this pandemic.
I think one thing that brings us all together, especially in time of this is trauma, distress, grief, is prayer. You know, I don't know everyone's faith, ways of faith or path of faith, but we all believe that there is a power that is in control. And so at this time, I don't know about you, but over the last year, I've felt out of control. You know, as we just keep seeing, like the person that went before me said, you know, every minute someone was passing away. And so as we see this surge coming back into other countries such as India, you know, we have to turn and come together as one people, oneness, no matter what our faith, our choice of faith, and who we're, the way we choose to honor God, we have to do it together.
We all have to pray heartfully that all soul energy is one. Body is different, but with that soul energy, everybody has to pray for each other, from our own personal life to worldwide prayer. And prayer is the best solution. When our efforts goes wrong, Almighty efforts is there for us. And everybody just have to understand this thing. Everybody's faith is different, but I believe it, and I have some experiences, miracles in my life with the prayer. And you always get upgrade soul when you pray.
No, it's a pleasure to have you all here, and I'm also fortunate to join this prayer. Of course, indeed, this is the time we need to pray for all, for your family, plus community, plus country, even worldwide. And I think that is a magic. Prayer is the answer to our peace and welfare. We here together with all other religions, and we want to pray in our own religion that we all with you, people who are suffering in India or even America or worldwide. And we wish them the best of the health and best well-being. Thank you.
A unique event with a difference was organized at Royal Albert Palace, New Jersey, and this was dedicated to police unity. And here are some glimpses from that police unity tour.
I'm the CEO and founder of the Police Unity Tour. I'm a retired police chief out of the state of New Jersey, Florham Park. Also, I'm currently the executive director for the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial Fund, located in Washington, D.C. Today is a beautiful culmination of a ride that we did in honor of our fallen. As you've seen in the last several months, actually over a year since last March, we've had the experience of COVID. So COVID has restricted us from getting in large gatherings and large groups, but we were able to come together and in a beautiful way and able to put 30 to 40 miles together as unisons with all law enforcement from all over the state of New Jersey to honor our fallen here today.
Yes, Hernandez Thomas, Newark Police Department, retired in 2016. I joined the tour in 1998. Just did miss it in 97 because of the last minute and I couldn't get the time off. And been doing it for 24 years now. And this year I'll be riding for my brother, Detective Marcus Thomas. He died in the line of duty, you know.
Well, Chaplain Greg here from Royal Albert's Palace, and such wonderful hosts Albert and his team are. We're so grateful. And we pray that God would continue to bless them abundantly, because they always are there for us. And today has been really a remarkable day as we truly do celebrate. And it is a celebration, even though, you know, our hearts are torn between what we do. We're satisfied in knowing who we represent and what we do is worthy of celebration. 25 years. So Harry and Pat and all of the members who've been around that long, all the leadership team, everyone who makes the Police Unity Tour successful, I pray that you would be blessed, and I pray that you would keep coming to make this the greatest, most powerful event in America. God bless you.
Good afternoon. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all the men and women of the Police Unity Tour. It's a tremendous outpouring of support for all the officers lost in the line of duty. It's been going on now since the mid-90s. We've been a part of it. Here we support the Unity Tour. From the city of Perth Amboy, we support the Unity Tour. I myself was fortunate enough to be able to ride for a couple of years in the Unity Tour back in early 2000s, and there's nothing to describe what happens. It's the amount of feelings that you have when you're riding to DC and you know that you're supporting all of the families of the lost officers. It's a second to none feeling, and the police unity, and just to see everyone here and come from across the country, and the candlelight vigil, which will be happening a little later this year because of COVID, unfortunately, but just to get everyone together and to have this unity of police officers and riding for those who died. Again, I want to thank everybody who's done this in the past, everybody who's here for the Unity Tour, everybody who is currently doing the Unity Tour. Again, congratulations on your ride, and I'm proud of every man and woman that is here that's riding for those who died. Thank you. My name is Larry Catano, C-A-T-T-A-N-O. I'm the Deputy Chief in Perth Amboy Police.
It's Officer Danny Gonzalez, Perth Amboy Police. Once again, the chief hit it. Just want to thank everybody for riding. We also had one of our officers unfortunately passed away. He was a big, rode for 10 years, or did 10 years of the Unity Tour, Archie Arcadio Rivera. Just want to say thank you, Unity Tour. God bless everyone that rides, and keep riding. Thank you.
We come to this country, make the money, so we have to donate the money back to American people.
Yeah, but Albert not only donates the money back, he donates his...
Today we are like, because of the corona, otherwise we got more than 1,500 people comes over there. And Virginia, how many people comes altogether?
Altogether, 2,600 people come to D.C.
Right.
And when we do the tour in India, we're going to hope to keep it small this time, the next time, like how we started here, 18, 20 people, right, and then let it grow over in India like we did here.
Right. We like to grow, and it can help to our Indian peoples to, benefit to police department. We have a different idea. Someday we can open to training each other, so everybody police department knows about India, knows about America,
Yes.
So
well, Albert has helped the American people understand the Indian culture and how the Indian people have the same type of sense of humor, how you like to laugh with each other, and the minute I say I've been to Gujarat, people go, oh, really? And they want to know, like, where have I been in Gujarat?
Modi invited, and Modi even sponsored the whole thing. They paid for everybody, they paid for the whole, staying over there, and everything was nice when we went over there.
It was very nice.
Yes, I would like to thank Albert. I think he's been a great asset to Woodbury Township, and not only township. I think he's a great asset to the entire state, and he's doing amazingly great support and I think great sponsorship for this World Police Unity Tour for almost like 2 decades now. It's a very long services, very long dedications, and well, we had a really tough and rough year, I would say, last year, Gary. And we couldn't do it. But I'm really nice to see all these officers in uniform. Look at them, it's so beautiful. I think it's not completely normalized situation. We have it, but I think we are at least fair enough to say that we are all, I think, vaccinated. Maybe most probably all of us. We still follow all safety measures. And this is the first, I would say, this in uniform, I would say the union, a great party here. So I welcome them all. It's beautiful to see all these police officers. Great efforts by the police, the chief and Alberts, and I would like to thank everyone.
I feel very proud myself that I'm part of this Police Unity Tour for at least for 10, 11, 12 years. Last time we visited with Mr. Harry Phillips and his colleague. We went to India, and Mr. Narendra Modi, that time Chief Minister, has invited us, and Mr. Albert Jasani has arranged for the Sardar Patel World Police Unity Tour. And we took ride from Ahmedabad to Karamsad. And it was really a proud moment for me to be part with Mr. Harry Phillips. Thank you.
That's right. When in India, Jay was promoted to doctor, and I was made the chief of New Jersey. So we had a great deal of fun, and Jay made sure I had plenty of Indian food to eat. And it was enjoyable. And drink, and some hot chili.
Well, I'm really very proud of to be part of Police Unity Tour for last 12 years. Last time when Albert Jasani has arranged a Sardar Patel World Police Unity Tour for the taking the ride in India, Mr. Harry Phillips and his colleague, we all went to India, where Mr. Narendra Modi, then Chief Minister of Gujarat, has invited us, and we have arranged the Police Unity Tour in India. And since then, I'm part of this great organization of Police Unity Tour with the good buddy Harry Phillips and Pat Manturi. Thank you.
That's right. And every year when we leave from Florham Park, Jay donates bagels and coffee to us to start us off, and he never thinks twice about it. And again, Jay is such a good friend of mine. So thank you.
As COVID-19 situation in India is a cause of concern for all of us, world is rising to the occasion, and Dr. Bindu Balani talks to us about the efforts that are being undertaken by Hackensack Meridian Health Services, which is also working towards sending medical supplies to India.
Your comments on what's happening in India, and how are you observing these numbers? And could that have an impact on us if they're not able to contain?
So it is very, very, very sad to see what's happening there. Thankfully, at least I think there's certain cities now. I have lots of friends in Maharashtra, and actually one of them just kind of texted in the morning saying, thankfully, things are a little bit better under control, a little bit stabilization. But again, India is a very vast country, and the resources and the supply and the demand of various healthcare products as well as healthcare providers is the main issue. It is sad to see so many not being able to get to medical help, not being able to get, a simple basic oxygen is heart-wrenching to see. It's really troublesome to see the numbers that went up between March, April, and at the current time in May. We hopefully the peak has happened. I can't really even fathom to see that number, that curve still going up. It's really sad. What does it entail for us? The world is a very small globe right now. It's not flat anymore. It's so close. There's significant globalization everywhere. There's travel every time. And with that comes along the passage of this particular virus from one end of the world to the other end of the world with an ease. And then if you start having mutants that are going to be developing in different parts of the world, we can expect more waves to come through. We already have seen a couple of the Indian mutants here in the US, and we really need to get them very well quarantined off, very well contact traced, so that we can hopefully keep them in silos and not allow it to progress. But that's the fear, that what if we get a wave with the same kind of mutants where we may not have as much efficacy as we would want it to be.
Yes, for sure. India is the second most populous nation in the world. I can only imagine the implications of this if it's not contained. My last question to you is, Doctor, I'd love for you to give us a prediction for the next month or two for United States, and also what you're thinking about India.
That's hard to say, but looking at the curve that we have today, I think that that downward trend we love. And we hope that it'll continue going forward this way. The numbers have remarkably come down these past 2 weeks. And, you know, it's nice to see, oh, there's no new admissions for COVID. That would be awesome. But yes, they are going down, and we hope that it's going to stay this way in the upcoming few months. Regarding India, as I mentioned, I think there are a couple cities in different parts where they have been able to have a little bit better handle, but nowhere is it coming down as yet. So we're still talking about yet another few weeks for this acute peak to drop down.
Time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia Voice of Community. But before we go, here is the time to recollect with you that we have a very vibrant Facebook page of ITV Gold. Be our friends there, as well as subscribe to ITV Gold's YouTube channel and keep writing to us, events@itvgold.com. Thank you very much. Take care. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.